So welcome back to another episode of Trans Voices Podcast. Here we have Elih, he, they pronouns.
I'm Robin, also he, they pronouns.
Eric, he, him pronouns.
Alexander, he, him pronouns.
And we wanted to take a moment to thank you both for joining us on our episode. We would love to talk about the play that you guys have coming up tonight. And we hear that you're traveling for said play, which is really impressive and very cool. And yeah, we're just going to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, we're super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. Fight or Flight has been a dream for us both, I think, hope. And it has been such an awesome experience to be able to take this play from Colorado and bring it to Texas where it is set.
Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit more about that. Like, what exactly is it? What made you guys start it? Yeah.
Of course. So Fight or Flight is a one-act non-linear play. Non-linear play means that it doesn't follow in a traditional play timeline. So you think of a play and you think of, oh, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end, whereas our play is told through flashbacks. So the entire show is told throughout this entire relationship is shown through a non-linear timeline to highlight the idea of how trauma can show up for so many people. It is set in a courtroom in Texas, and the entire play, each time one of the characters say their either opening statement or their first piece of evidence, we're brought back to that flashback.
Interesting. Okay, that's really cool. So there's different outcomes.
So yes, there are two alternate endings to the show where the audience gets to vote. So in everyone's jury decisions envelope that they receive when they walk into the theater hosts their programs as well as their two votes that they get. At a certain point in the play, there is a very dramatic stop where we freeze and the narrator gives a monologue. And it is your choice to choose who is the villain in our story.
Interesting.
Whether it is Augustus or Niro.
I've never heard of a play like that.
Yes.
That's really cool.
so cool. I agreed.
It's really fun because normally when you hear of a jury style play where the audience does vote, you're voting whether or not someone's guilty. Mm-hmm. But it's one character you're voting whether or not it's guilty. Whereas our show, you get to choose the villain, where you get to choose how that outcome happens for that person. And it's a fascinating idea. The narrator says, audience, Augustus is choosing to end this relationship. How shall he choose? It is your vote. Mm-hmm. And then each audience member lifts up their vote. It's either red or blue for either Niro or Augustus. And then there's two alternate endings all the actors have memorized. And we get a flash of blue or a flash of red and we go immediately into it. There's no intermission.
Wow. Okay, then that takes a lot of work.
Yes.
And like I can just imagine the writing of the play. You have to like obviously think and plan ahead these like different avenues that you're presenting to the audience. So I think that takes a lot of work too.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to write?
Ooh. How long did it take me to write, Eric? You were there for the first
to write it. Yeah,
to write it. You were there for the first writing session. So
I was there for the first writing session. Oh my gosh, it took 3 hours, 4 hours,
3 or 4 hours to write our first script, our first like finished script, and then it went through a bunch of rewrites. The last rewrite was about a month ago, and I guarantee you there will still be rewrites. That's normally how the script goes when it's first premiering before it gets signed off. Cool thing with our publishing company is that I very much have made it to where I can do anything to the script at any point. Which is really nice.
You have editorial discretion.
Exactly. It's really nice to be able to do that. I highly, highly recommend that more people look into it when publishing. But it has been a really awesome experience to like really be able to reach out to domestic violence victims in shelters and see what it's like in many aspects that Eric and I weren't terribly aware of. It was really amazing to be able to reach out to other trans people and really discuss the idea of what was it like when you found out you were outed? What was it like when this happened to you? And ensuring that our story is able to not only just be seen as a trans story, but truly be seen as the story it is beyond the identity. And I think that's the really important aspect that we really tried to bring into the play, that we have heard over and over again from every audience member, it's not a trans play. It is a domestic violence show. It's a show that most people can relate to at some point in their relationships, and you watch how it can escalate to that point. And it's really awesome to be able to experience many audiences' reactions to the show of, I didn't know that trans people also experience that type of relationship. And it's fascinating to me that we have this idea that trans people are normally either black or white. You're either good or bad, right? And this show really makes you delve into the gray aspect of trans people and the idea that trans people are human as equal as any other human, so therefore can be the bad guy or the good guy, and it's your choice to decide, just like how it's your choice to decide who are the bad and good guys in your life throughout your entire life.
I love all of that. That is really, really cool.
Yes.
Before we dive more into the play and like what got you started on it and how it came about, I would love to know more about
Yourselves.
Exactly.
Both of you and how you met each other.
Yeah.
Or how you started
You
working,
want to say how we met each other?
I would
together.
love nothing more. So, I did theater about 2 years ago. I did it for a year, and I really wanted to start up my on-screen journey. And so I see a casting call on Facebook. And it was the first thing I've ever auditioned for. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it.
Again, this is in Colorado,
Yes,
correct?
yes, this is Colorado. And oh my gosh, yeah. So I audition, first thing ever, and I get casted by this young man to play himself in a way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it was super quick. What was it?
It was just one knock, and I think we were shooting for maybe 5-6 hours, if that. It was a short film that we were doing.
Only though, it took us like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, it was a very quick shoot. That's how we first met.
So for a short film.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then it
And
just
how long ago
snowballed
was that?
from there. 2 years. 2 years ago.
That's really cool.
About two and a
Well,
half
now
years
you're
ago.
doing a play like that's gonna be in Scotland, like at the Fringe Festival. That's really cool.
That's really, really impressive. So the whole team is going out there? Or
So we actually have 2 narrators. So we have one narrator for our Houston show and one narrator for our Edinburgh show. The reason we decided to have 2 narrators is because they both bring completely opposite ideas and interpretations of the script, and it's fascinating how they were able to do it. When I originally wrote the narrator, I had imagined Lemony Snicket from A Series of Unfortunate Events, and then Susie auditioned. She's a creepy woman. And she brought this almost like maternal kind instinct that also could flip on a switch. That was so fascinating to me. And then we did a read through, and I watched as that narrator was she had a very high pitched voice. And I started thinking about the idea of the narrator being a child. And we were at dinner after the read through with one of my friends that I was in a show with that I've choreographed for before, and she was there, and I asked Izzy, because she had just played Little Red in Into the Woods, how good is your little girl accent? Because I know you can act like a little kid, but how good can you do a little girl Texas accent? And she goes, I can do anything you want if you give me 2 weeks. And I said, that's exactly what I want in an actor. Yes. And her interpretation's phenomenal. We've introduced a cold open to the show, meaning...
I'm familiar with it.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
not. Please tell me
So
more.
a cold open means that before any actor starts talking, before the play starts, there are actors on stage doing whatever they want. So Izzy introduced a cold open where she sets up her playroom, which is the set now for this show. And it's super cool to see her interpretation of the narrator, because Susie's for Edinburgh is more of Augustus's internal maternal monologue, right? Whereas Izzy very much represents Augustus's internal child. And it's heart-wrenching because she never leaves the stage at all. So she's watching us argue, and it's almost like reimagining what your inner child is feeling during your own relationships. I sob on stage when I get a glance of her, and it's so hard not to look at her because we have to acknowledge we can't acknowledge her. She's make believe in the play, right?
Yeah.
and she'll just get in your face and like beg you to pay attention to her, and we can't. And it's so hard at times to not just like feel the tear forming, because she's so entrancing. It's phenomenal. Highly recommend Izzy Sharp.
Now,
amazing
curious,
actress.
for those people that aren't able to go to the show, is there a video that we're able to access that? Because I'm curious to see what their not acting or narration is like myself. So
Yes, so we will have a videographer at the Houston show and at 2 of the Edinburgh shows.
Okay.
We do not control what ending the audiences pick.
Yes.
We control when we invite the videographers. We are hoping that means we will have 2 shows with 2 endings.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I see, but
But we really cannot
It's a roll of
promise
the
that.
dice, yeah.
We do know that normally the red ending has been chosen.
Yeah, the red end.
In historical runs, the red ending tends to be the most popular. However, I can't choose.
Yeah.
I fear if I was an audience member, I would put up both cards.
Yeah. Oh, can you do that?
No.
No.
Well, you can. Our stage manager, who's up in the booth, gets to see if they see a wave of red or a wave of blue. They pick red or blue. We also have an option up there for a third option, which is labeled the yellow button in the booth. But if it's a mix, then the computer picks.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's
Okay.
good. Cool.
that's smart.
Yeah. Okay, before we dive in, what is your background?
Ooh.
I'm learning a lot of like also you're doing a lot of theatrical background too. So are you
Yes, so I was a child actor growing up throughout Houston. I did a lot of work at Tuts, Theater Under the Stars, at the Hobby Center.
Oh wow, okay.
So I did a lot of work there growing up. I have done quite a bit of theater. I decided to quit theater actually when I turned 18 and started T because I was told my entire life you can't do it. I was a musical theater kid, so I was a little belter and I was a high soprano, and I was told it was going to ruin my voice. Now, was I unable to sing for like 3 years? Yes. Can I sing now? Yes. I just had to go through the entire puberty process again.
Yep.
But many people in my life told me that wasn't possible, and then this past year was my senior year in college, and I was able to star in 3 shows that year. As my first year back to theater, I auditioned as a joke when I came home for the summer between my junior and senior year, and I'd just gone through a really bad breakup. My mom was like, you need something to bring you joy. Theater has always been that. So I auditioned for Spring Street Studios for To Kill a Mockingbird, and I was immediately casted. It was such an awesome experience. And then I did Urinetown, where I was Bobby Strong, and then I was just in Sideshow with actually our other narrator, Izzy, where I played Sir. And it was such an awesome experience to be able to come back and truly take theater by storm again. Like, I felt like I couldn't go somewhere without demanding I get casted because I knew I deserved it. And it was such an awesome experience to be able to truly like just dive back into theater, especially because I wasn't originally supposed to play Niro. So it was such a very awesome experience to be able to have 3 shows before we now perform this.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And again, very impressive as a child actor. I did not know that about your background. So that's really, really cool. So you wrote this play.
Yes.
Is this your first play?
No.
No. Okay.
No. The first play I wrote was about wilderness therapy. I was a wilderness therapy child growing up.
What does that mean?
It is a type of therapy where you unfortunately are kidnapped in the middle of the night and sent to the woods to live for about 6 months.
Is that for
Legal.
real?
It's
That's a
legal.
long time.
That's for real?
Yeah.
I've heard of similar.
Yeah.
They don't have a good reputation.
They do
Wait,
not.
is this like through a church or something?
No.
No.
It is a therapeutic program that your tax dollars pay for.
That your parents just like
Your parents.
thought to put you in for what reason? Like why
Many
would they-
parents think many things of why they send their children there. I was sent there for a variety of reasons, and my first play I wrote was kind of an a take on my experience of wilderness therapy and like various things I witnessed. My favorite character in that show is actually the youngest, who's the 12-year-old who is just consistently worried she's like doing something wrong, like crying, and she's getting punished, and she doesn't know why she can't get a birthday card because it's not letter day, right? And there's so many cute things about that show that I really enjoyed writing that might be a spoiler for next year's Fringe show.
Oh.
But this is not my first play writing. It is my first play producing, though, and my first play directing. I've been an assistant director for musicals. I have been a choreographer for musicals. I've been a music director for musicals. I have never directed my own show.
Wow.
So producing, directing, writing, and starring in one show is a lot. I highly don't recommend.
When do you sleep?
I don't remember what that is anymore.
Gotcha. Okay. When is all this over that you can rest?
Our last show at the Fringe is the 16th of August.
Okay. And then you're going to hibernate for like 6 months or?
I wish. No, I actually get about 2 weeks of rest, and then I go start my master's program at Queen Mary University in London.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Super
That's
impressive.
Very
wow.
Very exciting.
And so you're going to live out there full time?
Yes, I will be living out there it's a year-long program because I had some master's credits from my undergrad, so I only need a year long there. So yes, I will be there for roughly 13 months, and then I come back here.
Wow. Have you been there before?
I have. I've been to London a few times for a few West End workshops and things like that when I was younger. I always have enjoyed a larger city. You can ask anyone who's seen me in Colorado how much I complain about ruralness in Colorado, yet we live in one of the largest cities in Colorado, and it's still super rural to me. So I'm really excited to go back and live in a city again, especially at sea level. The elevation definitely gets to me.
Oh, yeah. What is your master's in?
It'll be in theater studies and performance.
That is really cool. So what are you planning on doing after?
So the cool thing with theater is that it is a niche study, meaning that there is no possibility for you to get a doctorate in theater. The highest academic regalia for theater is Masters of Fine Arts, right? Meaning I can become a professor after I receive my MFA in theater, which I plan to do, and hopefully open up my own theater.
That's really cool.
That would be amazing.
Where would you open up your theater? Would it be in Colorado?
Absolutely
Texas?
not Colorado.
Overseas.
I think I would probably, knowing myself and knowing everything I like, my dreams would be Scotland or New York. Knowing realism, maybe Austin, Houston. I really like DC. I think it's a great area. That's an up-and-coming theater area. But I just would like to bring to a city that is not known for experimental theater an experimental community theater experience. Especially because I have such a vast experience in working with specifically high needs children. I would love to be able to do at least a once a year high needs show for kiddos where it's like either Seussical or something cute, because those have always been my favorite experiences in theater every time. It's just watching kiddos that you normally know are shut down for being loud and like shut down for being excited are praised for that in a theater space.
Yeah.
Do you currently do that now?
Yes, my last show with my kiddos was 3 weeks ago. It's actually I actually went to work on my birthday, and I decided it was my favorite birthday I'd ever had because I got to see my favorite kiddo, I was her buddy, that week perform in Seussical, and it was her first day performing in like 5 years. She hadn't performed since she was a toddler, and she had Down syndrome, and she was having a bit of struggles that week, and it was her first day. She didn't have a meltdown, and she was having a blast, and it was so cute watching her get so excited every time she saw the audience. It was my favorite birthday I've ever had.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
so heartwarming.
It's like bringing back some memories. I did theater for 2 years in high school, and I wanted to do acting, and I was grown up like told like, oh, you're so dramatic. I like doing voices. I am high energy. And so I don't know, I just like playing different voices. Even to this day, I like do different voices. My work from home job is a call center. So when I talk to other colleagues, I do different voices and they just like laugh, and it makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
But I didn't pursue theater or acting, and I never auditioned or anything like that because my biggest fear was growing up. I am dyslexic, and I was in special ed classes from like second grade till senior year. And so I just had a fear that like I wouldn't retain the information, that I wouldn't be able to memorize things. And so I was like, I did a lot of the technical back end stuff, and that was fine. And I was excited and I loved doing that and I learned a lot. But hearing this, like, kind of wish like I had things like that growing up, because I don't know, it would have been cool to do. Again, I really did have a passion growing up for theater, but I just never pursued it because it just,
I think you should take a gander. And you should absolutely do that.
I don't know. I feel like I'm too old now.
Absolutely not. Do you want to know a fun fact? Angelina Jolie it wasn't until she was 28 years old until she got her first acting role. She actually went to be a funeral director in school because she thought that's all she could do. There's so many people that have not pursued theater until older in age. Think of how many retired folk pursue theater in their retirement age, and then we end up with some of the best Tony Award winning people. It's fascinating to me that we decide as a society, just because you didn't choose a career when you were 14, you can't pursue that career now. That's absolutely ridiculous. Judge Weems, who is the Honorable Judge Weems, shout out Judge Weems from Spring Street Studios, decided after she had become a judge, she wanted to open up and direct her own theater, and did, and is a phenomenal artist now. It's ridiculous to me that that's so sad that you think that you're too old. That's ridiculous. Absolutely not.
It is sad, but society, it does, kind of condition us to think that way. But it's very true. Like, you can pivot at any time. It's never too late.
But then, what would you say about the memorization? Because I'm really bad with
memorizing lines.
Yeah, like
sorry, you like to do like different voices and that kind of thing. You read it off of a
teleprompter.
A teleprompter in his studio.
There's also improv where you don't have to memorize anything. There's also ways to memorize things that I've worked with, like specifically dyslexic kiddos on they struggle to read. So we say their lines into a little mic, and then they listen to it on repeat, like a music. And that's how they can memorize very frequently.
So there's different, there seems to be a lot, because I didn't think that they would do prompting besides the news. And I wouldn't think like that there's a earpiece either. That's interesting too.
So you memorize that way, right? So then you go on stage and you don't have an earpiece. However, some theaters, especially musicals, have earpieces for you to hear your music director say there's issues, and now we're missing this harmony. They will say tenors up or things like that. And I don't know, I think it's fascinating because there's so many ways to pursue theater with making it super accessible, and there's so many accessible theaters that I just wish more people would pursue it, because it's already there. The resources are there. You just gotta show up.
Well, and we also need to know about them too.
I highly agree.
The resources are there, but
it's definitely a marketing issue.
Yeah.
I do think in a world that tells us that we can't do anything, you have to try everything.
Yes.
And that's like...
You should try as much as possible. Like, be a maximalist. Like, I just think it's fun to try, like, things too.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. But that is really impressive.
Yeah,
I'm just,
it
like,
is.
in awe.
I'll be waiting to see what you do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, you'll have to shout us out when you go on Broadway.
Oh my God. Stop. I don't know about Broadway, but I've also, just another side note, I have also thought about like doing voice acting, because obviously I'm then not in front of people, and then having to memorize something, I could just read off a script and I'm just like in a little booth myself. But again, I don't know how to get into that. Like, that seems like a lot of work, but that that's another topic. Again, very impressive, super impressive. Both your backgrounds.
I wanted to ask Eric more about. So you said you just saw Facebook like hosting. So that was what got you into acting. Like, were you already interested in acting?
I started theater because I knew I eventually wanted to do on-screen things. And so that was kind of like, you learn the basics and that kind of thing. And after that year and a half in theater, I was like, I'm 17. I know it's a crazy dream. I want it right now. I'm going to go after it right now. We're going to see what happens. And and then I've been doing short films as of right now. I have a few out. It's not a big list, but I do take pride in the list.
That's cool. And it's not about the quantity, it's the quality.
No, that's important to me. Like the the storylines, the people, everything about it. And I'm excited to go to the Fringe and get to meet more of these connections, because I come from a town that if you said it in Colorado, people would go, I'm so sorry. So I think, but all of these like little things other people deem to be negative, I think it's going to make for one hell of a story. So I just go out on my way and I do the things and whatever this guy drags me into. You know what I mean? So
now, would you ever see yourself as a writer yourself for a play or a show? Or
I've tried writing a few things. I'm not very good at it, just because I'll write for 10 minutes and then it's like, I'm gonna go do something else. And 2 months later,
hard to stay like focused on writing. But you're doing the special effects, right, for this play?
Yes.
So you do. Could you talk about that too?
I do this special effects makeup, and so I do. I've been doing that since I was 10.
yeah,
And this is a quick little thing, but I like to play with it in my free time, just because I love horror. I love fun stuff, so like fun makeup looks. People, you can do anything with it. So I just that's what I do.
Really cool.
Thank you.
Sounds fun.
It's fun just to play.
Yeah,
it's my favorite part.
Now, are both your families supportive in your career goals?
My uncle is the one that got us our venue in Houston, so I would definitely say my family is very, very supportive. Especially, I'm just shocked that they're supportive, because my junior year I was about to take the LSAT to go to law school, and then out of nowhere was like, I'm gonna go back to theater. And they were like, great, perfect, do it, have a blast.
That's great. That's great.
What made you pivot into law?
Oh, it was all I thought I could do to maintain acting and social justice, which were my two largest morals at the time. And it was really funny to everyone, because everyone kept being like, but kids are your like number one thing. Like, I was the kid that at 6 years old was treating the kids around me like kids. You know what I mean? I've always wanted like such a large family. I've always wanted to just work with kiddos, and I decided I was going to go into family law, and everyone stared at me and said, you cry when you see a bunny on the side of the road.
I feel that.
And then I had to sit through a bunch of family law classes in my undergrad, and I cried every single time I had to read a new case. And it got to the point where my professors pulled me aside and said, I'm not saying law's not for you. I am saying you can't do family law. So I definitely did a very large pivot. Theater wasn't much in my undergrad. I was a double major with 5 minors, and only one of my minors had theater in it, but it was TV, film, theater production. So I mainly took camera classes for that more than anything. I really just didn't take any theater in college, really. I don't know why a master's program wanted me. I'm really excited, but I was really scared applying.
Wow, your background is very impressive.
This guy is insane.
Like, what have you not done?
Someone like this guy before in my life.
Don't ask me any math or science.
Okay, gotcha.
Relatable.
Okay, so we're not going to space or anything. Okay, I got you. Well, again, super impressive. Very cool to learn all of that. And again, thank you so much for sharing all of that information.
Yeah.
Let's see, what can we pivot to? So one of the questions is your playbill features strong statements announcing AI in theater. Can you share why protecting human-driven, intimate storytelling is a core for Noe Productions?
Yes. I believe that if you are a human telling a human story, you do not need technology to tell it for you.
Preach.
I believe that many theaters now are using AI in their set design and writing and taking jobs away from set designers and writers.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, of course. So many theaters nowadays, we saw it with the Wizard of Oz illegal production that they put on. There's a theater that put on an illegal production of Wizard of Oz, and their entire set for the Wizard of Oz was a backdrop projection of AI.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is absolutely disgusting. When a set designer knows so much that AI still does not know. I had to, in my many college classes, talk to ChatGPT and prove why it sucked. I had many college classes where I had to debate it until I won. I won within 2 minutes. It sucks. It cannot do anything original. I already know what it's going to say. It is so extremely frustrating watching AI take over the most human form of protest that we've had since day one. Theater has always surrounded humanity. It has always told the stories that we can only come up with in our minds. It has always put words and actions to our thoughts that we thought were impossible. And that is such a key aspect of theater. It's my same argument when it comes to literature. Both cannot have any AI influence for a multitude of reasons. However, if you are going to look at it in the bare bones, at the bare minimum, it should be to ensure that our money should not be paying an AI's bills. Are you kidding?
That's true.
That's ridiculous. Why am I paying for AI's bills? When I'm going to see a performance, I should be paying the bills for the performers I'm seeing and the techies that have put their heart, soul, blood, and sweat and tears into it. As someone who was I was the set designer for the show, I thought of every idea I had. I knew there were 3 characters, so I needed 3 big set pieces to represent each character. I knew that there were 3 characters, so I had to create either a diagonal or a triangles in every piece of blocking, which had to match the set design. Whereas you see AI do it and they just create a painting that you have to put on a projection, or they create a set design. You can do a blueprint set design, and then you're like, well, I have 30 actors I need to fit in this scene, and then they just get rid of all the set, and you're like, but I still need a set, so they put 4 pieces of set for 30 actors on a scene to create levels, which is impossible. It is so behind. I don't see a world where it becomes more influenced unless we get rid of genuine people. And I think especially when it comes to shows like Fight or Flight, and honestly every show I've ever seen in a theater space, because at the end of the day, for theater to be art, it has to be human and be a form of protest. It's what art has always been. Whether it's a form of protest to your own mind or someone else's, it is always a form of protest, and you cannot do that with AI.
Now I'm curious, because AI has recently been pushed through heavily in the last several months, and you're currently in school. You've talked about how it's in class and you've debated it in class. How long, when did you notice that the pivot into AI in theater? Like, when did that happen? Because again, AI has been around for several years, but the last several months is where everybody's like,
there's more slop.
Exactly. It's
AI in theater and film, I think, definitely has become a large aspect since a certain movie came out. It's the movie with Tom Hanks and the AI generative aging throughout the story.
Oh, I haven't seen
No
that
idea.
movie. I haven't seen it.
Don't. But since it actually, that is the turning point within the theater and film community of when AI came out, was with a certain movie that utilized generative AI to showcase the ability to age with AI, which then allowed many films to put AI instead of extras. If you look closely at many new films coming out, see if the extras look weird. Many times they're now AI. And then you look and you saw how film was able to do that. So many theaters took that and did that for their set designs and their writing. It's hard. You can't do it for choreography, right? So there's certain things that like we just can't do AI for yet. Would not shock me if in the next 5 years we see so many theaters that completely are directed by AIs. And that is so sad to me, because I fear that will take away from so many shows. Because you think of the basic shows like Wizard of Oz, and you can see how that can be stripped down to the bare bones very easily. And now we've lost the entire overwhelming arching theme of the story of how it truly is talking about racism and World War II references throughout the entire show. Like, there's so many niche aspects that you can show through sets, through costumes, through the writing, through the directing, that I fear AI will never get the true metaphors of unless someone tells them.
What I just don't understand, and I know this is a little probably off topic, what I just don't understand, and I was just talking to a friend recently, is like the leaders of the world, and you know that there are leaders of the world. They have the big pockets. They're the ones that are like, everybody knows, oh, this person are the trillionaires, billionaires, and this is who runs the world and controls the governments and the bills and the laws. What I don't understand is these leaders that are pushing for AI and stuff like that, getting rid of these jobs, the choreographer, the directors, the writers, and so forth, right? And what is the end goal? I really want to sit down with these leaders and be like, where do you guys see like all this coming about? Because if you're getting rid of all these jobs and you're producing all the, who is eventually paying to go see these events, these theaters, these movies, and so forth, when we're all losing jobs? How are people getting money to then go and like, I'm not understanding.
We actually discuss this very frequently in a lot of my classes. The biggest argument I have heard that I personally agree with is that it is in an effort to ensure that. The effort of the politicians right now is to ensure that our people are unhoused, jobless, and stupid. And unable to connect humanly. That is the easiest brainwash state you could have, because they will do anything to ensure food on the table. They don't care anymore about what that means humanity-wise. There are no longer any ethical norms at that point in a society, and it is just survival and propaganda. We have seen it time and time again in history, and it is very sad to see that now technology, the thing that was supposed to take us away from that and connect us, the biggest technological advancement in my book will always be the telephone to connect us. Yet now we use our phones to talk to ChatGPT. That's exactly the horror of what we're experiencing as a society.
That's crazy. It's just crazy.
I'm tired.
just talking about it.
Yeah.
I know you're also passionate about accessibility, and that you made your show or trying to make your show very accessible. Can you talk about like how you're doing that as well?
Yeah. I mean,
so I, as a person with a multitude of invisible disabilities, I highly believe in accessibility in a theater space. As someone who works with against high needs people in theater, I believe theater is meant for the people, for all the people, no matter who you are. There are many things we have done to ensure the show's accessibility, from content warnings to ensuring that there's one show while we were at the Fringe that is called a low sensitivity show. So we have no flashing lights during that show. Our sound cues are much quieter. We are not mic'd for that show. It is much more intimate and able to be digested by those that can't have seizures and can't see flashing lights, get overwhelmed really easily, and loud noises are overwhelming. We want to ensure that our show is as accessible as possible. We also have a QR code where you can scan it, and literally you text me. Like every time the contact form is anything, it's me. You're texting me. You tell me what you need. I make sure it happens when it comes to accessibility in our shows. You tell me I need a spot right next to the exit. Reserve sign right there. Perfect. You got it. I truly believe that theater can be unique to everyone's needs, and I am always down to ensure an audience member truly feels at home in the way our cast members are able to.
I love that. Now, can you say that like, I know that you've mentioned that that's with your org. Do you notice that other organizations are as accessible or as like involved in like creating an accessible?
I think it's kind of becoming a joke in the theater community of watching, as someone who is a part-time wheelchair user, and many of my friends who are wheelchair users, showing up to an audition and seeing stairs. The second you can't even walk through the audition floor. And it's fascinating to me.
Backstage, they don't have
some theaters are just stairs, and that's the only way you can
Is
enter.
it because it's like an ancient theater? Like
Sometimes it is also not impossible to put a portable ramp.
True.
There's so many ways you can take that and make it accessible, and a portable ramp on Amazon is $20. Not saying we should support Amazon, but I also know the same theater is supporting Amazon. And
Yeah, they can at least be accessible while they're at it.
exactly. It's frustrating, and
What
think
happens in those moments for the?
I am, excuse my language, a snarky bitch. And so I literally have been the, excuse my language again, asshole who will purposefully, I'm really good at wheelies in my wheelchair, do wheelies up the damn stairs.
Yes.
Or I'll drag my wheelchair up the stairs and scoot my butt like how we had to do on the Capitol. I will do everything to ensure that they know how ridiculous it is. And then I show up to the audition room and I say every single time, I'm here because I like auditioning and I like performing. I'm not going to accept anything from you, but I'm here to show you what you're missing out on because your theater wasn't accessible, and what you could be missing out on from others who are not as snarky as I am.
Have you noticed in those moments
Their
anything
faces drop?
Yeah. Well, anything changing afterwards?
I have actually. I did that boldly at my last audition, and he said, what if I put in a ramp and made the theater accessible? Will you take the role? And I said, only if it's accessible for audience and every other cast member, including myself. And he said, okay. And he did it because he really wanted me in that role.
Wow. Goosebumps.
Wow.
And that's honestly how things should be. Like, just like you said, you have the form, people reach out to you, whether they need exit seating and so forth. It should be like that. It's not that hard to make those small changes and provide accessibility to everyone.
Precisely.
It's not that hard.
You'd be shocked how many people are denied from theaters because their ventilators make too much noise.
No.
That's so sad.
And there are so many things that you'd be shocked how many times I see. I used to perform for children, right? I used to be in like the kiddo touring things, like where we played like puppets and silly things for kiddos to experience theater. And I would watch kiddos having meltdowns be escorted out. And I was like, this is the space for them. What else are we supposed to make for them? I'm not saying every show is supportive of kiddos. Our show's not. Our show is definitely 16 plus at the minimum. Yeah, it's sad. It's really, really heart-wrenching to see, and I never want someone to feel that way in my theater.
That is sad. That is really sad. I don't like that.
I love the idea of opening your own theater, though, and you can make it like the most accessible like theater.
Exactly. It's my goal.
Yeah.
I love that. You talked a little bit about the Fringe, but you didn't go into it. Can you touch on that?
Sure, for people who might not know,
Yes.
be familiar with the Fringe Festival.
Eric, why don't you explain what you first thought the Fringe was, and then what you discovered
leave
the
me
Fringe
alone.
was?
I'm not gonna lie. When
So-
I think of Fringe, I'm thinking of
The TV show?
Yup.
Yep.
I'm like, what is?
the TV show?
It's like, okay, it's a slightly older
Yeah, it is
It's from like early
Early
mid 2000s.
2000s.
I was
It's
born
a
in
sci-fi.
2004, so
Okay, so that's why you haven't seen it.
But it's so good. It's think of what is that show that everybody likes growing up? What was that other one?
Lost?
X-Files? No,
X-Files,
X-Files.
yeah.
Do you know the X-Files and how they like go around and they do detective work on like the paranormal and stuff like that? So when you say Fringe, all I keep thinking is Olivia Dunham and our parallel worlds and stuff like that. But obviously we're talking theater talk. So what is the Fringe?
The Fringe. I had no idea how much of a quote unquote like big deal it was. And you know, in my day-to-day life, I tell people and they're like, oh cool, what's that? And so it's like it's not out of the norm. But then you get into the theater world and it's apparently it means something, which I'm so blessed. And so we kind of got to Mr. Alex put in, and we sort of skipped the line because typically you go fringe to fringe to fringe until you get to Edinburgh, Scotland Fringe, the Fringe. And I don't know how he does it. We got there, and God bless, I get to be a part of it. But yeah, we're a bunch of up and coming and comedians and you know, artistic theater pieces. It's where they go, and there's just a bunch of little venues, and you know, you get to go around and choose your show, and it's on the Mile High. Is it the road? Is it? Yeah. And you can absolutely add to that.
it's super cool. So the Fringe itself is an international competition, right? So every major city has a Fringe festival, right? When you apply to the Fringe, there are many ways you can do it. You can apply to a specific festival, or you can apply to the Fringe and they assign you a festival. I chose to be sneaky. Normally how it works is the Edinburgh Fringe is the final boss of all the Fringe festivals, if that makes sense. The Tonys are one of the qualifiers for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is insane to think about.
That is.
But the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is super cool because you see things like, do you remember Baby Reindeer? That
Yes.
show?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
It
Richard
premiered
Gadd.
at Edinburgh Fringe Festival as a
Gadd.
stand-up one-man comedy show and then got signed. No, like the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is for up-and-coming artists. Howie Mandel had his first show there.
That's cool.
There's so many insane artists that were born for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Shrek the Musical was originally a drag show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
drag?
Right?
Dolly
How did I not
Parton
know
the
that?
musical
know that.
was originally a drag show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
You guys have seen Fleabag.
Yes.
Fleabag. Yeah, the
I
lady
love
in
Fleabag.
Fleabag was founded at Fringe.
Yeah, it's a one-woman show. So the Fringe is
Andrew Scott's
super cool. I'm really, really honored to be able to go there. We were blessed with our dream theater space and venue there. I wanted a small, intimate audience for our type of show, especially because most people go to the Fringe to laugh. It's what it's known for. It is known for comedy. However, they have a small category called theater drama, and there's maybe 40 of us out of the tens of thousands of shows that go to a Fringe each year. So it's a really awesome experience to be one of the few theater dramas performing there, and to hopefully make people cry before they go laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So when you go there, is it like a week's long? Like how long?
So
is
the Edinburgh Fringe starts August 1st and ends the last day of August each year. We are there for the second week. So our first performance is the 7th and our last is the 15th. So we get the second week time frame, which is honestly what I wanted, because I wanted a few days before to see all the premiere shows. And I wanted a few days after to be able to see all the shows that I had heard of but didn't want to see because I was in a performance at the same time, or etc. So I think we got the time frame and the venue that worked the best for us, and we could not be more blessed. We have an evening show time, which is exactly what you want for a drama. It's we just genuinely could not be more blessed. The only issue is we have 45 minutes to load in, load out every day. Like our show's 38 minutes long, so we have 2 minutes to open house, 2 minutes to close house. So that's the only stressful part we
Yeah,
have.
that does sound stressful.
Yeah, that does.
All of our props just fit in. You know, you can't have more than this space of props.
So we don't have a set for the Edinburgh Fringe. It is all really cool lighting that we're playing with instead.
Wow. And so you're writing and directing and producing all of this. Like, what does that all entail? Because again, you have to be offset in 2 minutes. How are you putting all that thought into everything and calculating everything? That's what I'm like wondering. That's amazing.
I have frequently described producing like baking a cake for the first time, yet there's no kitchen or supermarkets or any farmers. You have to grow the wheat, then you got to figure out how to mill it, and then you have flour.
Yep.
And now you got to go find eggs to grow your own chickens because you only have one egg, right? So you need to grow your own chickens now, right? Like you got to hatch that egg. Might as well. So you have to hatch the egg, raise your own chickens. Now that's giving you a bundle of eggs, right? And then you have to remember, oh crap, I forgot milk. So you get a pregnant cow because that's the only way you can make sure you have another cow that will give you double the milk. And then you're like, wait, I need to open up the bakery. That's the whole purpose, is that there has to be people to eat the cake. So then you have to figure out, how are we going to decorate the bakery that the people sit in before they even enter the kitchen? So like thinking about how you decorate a house, like the meeting place of the audience before they even step foot in the theater. Thinking about how backstage works for the actors. Do they have all of the intimacy needs they have? Do they have all their makeup, costumes? Hair, double checking with management, ensuring that all of the props are done, walking the stage, ensuring set design is done. I'm our fight choreographer, so we do fight call. I'm not our intimacy coordinator. I'm not unethical. So then we do intimacy call. There are just so many niche aspects that people don't think about. Actors are spoiled rotten. And as a producer and an actor, I want to kill myself too. Like, it's so gosh darn frustrating sometimes because I'll have an actor come up to me and be like, I need Red Bull or I can't go full out. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cool. So we have 5 minutes until we are supposed to start this run. I will go run and get you a Red Bull. I'm not even in full makeup. And it's just very much being the person that puts out the fires while also accidentally setting fires yourself. It's exhausting. I don't think I would do this show any different. I do think for the next show, I will not be on stage.
So not to like deter our audience listeners from potentially writing their own script, but the time frame of all of that, for me, like, I wouldn't think, if I want to go back into theater and all that stuff, or possibly writing a play, I wouldn't think like, okay, before I like present to a team of people to get my play out there, what is the time frame of all of that to like make your vision perfect? Because it sounds like a lot of time and effort. Mm-hmm. Is it a year that you planned all of this out and then was like, okay, here is a play that I want to do, and then like a team of people are like, yeah, let's do it? What is the timeline of all of that?
I love that you think there's just a team of people that come together. I love that you think I can just pick up a team and they all come together. So I wrote the script, right? And then I decided I have an issue. Guys. I'm a college student. Well, was. Oh, that's weird.
You are a college student. What are you talking about? What?
I graduated in May.
Oh, well, you're going back, so technically still a college
Fair.
student. Yeah.
Fair. So I'm a student, so I like a glass of wine now and then. And me, after a few glasses of wine, likes to be bold and accidentally submit a show to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Just randomly.
Yeah, it was at 1 a.m. Fully randomly. Did not think we would ever get accepted. It's a drama. When does the Edinburgh ever want a drama? Yeah. And we got accepted, and then I decided, oh no, that means this is real. And I reached out to anyone who would talk to me, and everyone was like, you're brand new? No. You're brand new? No. The first question I got asked every single time, is this your first show you're producing and writing? I said, yes. They said, no. Every single time. And so I decided to do it myself. You can ask Eric. There are a total of 5 people on our production team. for the entire production.
Oh, wow.
Houston and Edinburgh included. Only 4 of us are here for Houston.
Wow.
My
And only 4
anxiety's
of
going
us,
through the
and
roof
only
right now.
only 3 of us are going to Edinburgh.
Oh my God.
Only 3 of us are going to Edinburgh. Our narrator in Edinburgh is also our stage manager, which is the most pressure I could ever imagine. Eric is our head of marketing and our SFX designer. Our narrator and stage manager for Edinburgh is also our intimacy coordinator and helped out a lot with sound. Our stage manager for Houston is our stage manager and house manager. I am producer, writer, director, actor. I designed all of the costumes, hair and makeup myself. Izzy, who is our narrator and house manager for Houston, also helped out with a lot of the designing of costumes. Everything was literally us. There was no other help, because majority of the time when you are self-publishing and you don't want to sign your life away, because that was the agreement, I either had to sign my script away to someone who was cis, who I knew did not understand the story and had already said they wanted changes to be made, or do it myself. And I decided to do it myself. We set up a GoFundMe, barely made crap from that. Majority of this has been our own money as well. We paid, what was it, $1,800 for our venue in Houston, and then we have an Airbnb we're all staying in. We drove down to save money. We didn't fly down. We drove down 17 hours in one day with a dog in the car and 5 of us in a car and all of our set and costumes and our own things in the car. I was driving with a bag.
Van?
No, it's an SUV. I was driving with a bag in my lap. When I say it's a low budget show, we really did do it all of ourselves. We didn't take out any loans, thank goodness, but we borrowed money. We spent our last paychecks.
I'm so impressed. It's hard to say anything other than just, how impressive it is, and like the dedication and passion is really amazing to me. I'm so excited to see the play tonight.
Yes, we are going to
we're
come
going,
see the
yeah.
play tonight,
Yeah.
so we're super excited for that.
Oh my god, you'll have to let us know what you think and who you all voted for. You'll have to message us on Instagram, because we're frozen on stage and we're making eye contact, so we can't see the audience and who they vote for. So you'll have to text us and let us know who you voted for. We're so curious every time.
Yeah, and gosh, it's so gray up until that moment where we're both frozen. And I've had a few of my loved ones come watch it, and it's like, this is wrong, this is right, and then this is now everywhere. And so, but up until that moment, I think that there's a confusing power dynamic, and then you're tied. But you'll have to let me know what you think. I can't say anything because I'm just doing the thing.
I think the worst part about the vote is the fact that the first scene is their wedding scene. I think that always gets me every single time, is the fact that it starts off with them saying their vows. The first lines we say is our vows. And then the last lines are just disgusting. No matter the ending. No matter the ending, everyone's in tears on stage and off.
Oh, well, again, I'm super excited to see it tonight. Before we start wrapping it up, I am curious. Okay, so you both are from Colorado. You're traveling overseas. We're hosting a show here in Houston. Why Houston?
Well, Alex was saying you're from...
I'm from Houston, and the show is set in Texas. It was really important to me that Eric and I experience what it was like being trans in a small town in Texas. As someone who grew up here, I got a ranch in Round Top. I knew what it was like, and because Eric doesn't like fully get a lot of certain aspects, I wanted him to see what it was like for me, and he noticed people staring at me when I went to the bathroom and things like that. And I think it was a really important experience for us all to see as a cast what Niro and Augustus experience daily as 2 trans people in Odessa, Texas, despite how any person in the cast's own identities are.
No, I gotcha. Super impressed with both your backgrounds. Want to take a moment again to thank you both for joining us
Thank you so much for having us. It has been such an honor speaking with y'all, and y'all have just been so sweet and kind.
Oh, well,
Yes,
thank you.
I'm such a sap, but I daydream about moments like these every single waking day and moment and second. So this is my first time getting to do something like this, and I appreciate you for having us in your lovely space.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. We've loved having you, and you're always welcome back.
Exactly. I was just gonna say maybe in a couple months we can like revisit everything and see how the successes of this play and your future plays.
That would be awesome.
That would be wonderful.
Yes.
I think
Maybe by then, you never know. Maybe by then we have a theater in the books. Okay, you never know. This might be a super success, and who knows? You could be popping like Howie Mandel. Okay, so never know. We're manifesting this into the world. Thank you both.
Thank you.
And thanks to our listeners for listening in on today's episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Even leave us a comment. Tell us what you think or thought of this episode. And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.